sometimes like to say a term and then open to a Bible passage or two about said term. So let's do two passages about the term Charlie Kirk's memorial. Passage 1. Kings 21. Ben-Hadad, the king of Syria, gathered all of his army together. 32 kings were with him, and horses and chariots. And he went up and closed in on Samaria and fought against it. And he sent messengers into the city to Abab, king of Israel, and said to him, "Thus says Ben-Hadad, your silver and your gold are mine, your wives and your children are also mine." And the king of Israel answered, "As you say, my lord, O king, I am yours and all that I have." The messengers came and said, "Thus says Ben-Hadad, I sent to you, saying, deliver to me your silver and gold, your wives and your children. Nevertheless, I will send my servants to you tomorrow about this time, and they shall search your house, and the houses of your servants, and lay hands on whatever pleases you, and take it away." Then the king of Israel called all the elders of the land and said, "Mark now and see how this man is seeking trouble, for he sent me for my wives and children and for my silver and gold, and I did not refuse him." And all the elders and all the people said to him, "Do not listen or consent." Do not listen or consent. Passage 2, final passage. I'm going to go right where my fingers were on this side. Adjoining the territory of Judah, from the east side to the west, shall be the portion Ezekiel 48:8. Is this when they divide Israel? Hold on. So not only is this the passage about dividing Israel, but it talks about 25,000 in length on the southern side. And the video I did the other day for the reading on TikTok had that specific number, 250. I'm going to show you. In his 1837 poem Concord Hymn, to describe how that first shot symbolized a fight for liberty that inspired people globally. Okay, hold on. There's a lot to unpack here. My brain is going. Okay, so the shot heard around the world. This was another shot heard around the world. That one was the opening of a fight for liberty. I'm not good at math, so hold on. Okay, so 250 years ago. What else happened 250 years ago? The American Revolution begins. Oh, that was what officially started the Revolutionary War. Second Continental Congress met in Philadelphia. And Philadelphia had the Liberty Bell. This was the battle for liberty, beginning to steer colonies towards independence. So 250 years ago, shot around the world, boom, independence, which was made to look like it was leading us into peace, but it really wasn't. It was really separating us. Now, boom, shot heard around the world. It's meant to look like it's separating us, but what it's really going to do is bring us back together. you know? Hold on, my brain's still going. Then in May, capture of Fort Ticonderoga, Ticonderoga, where Ethan Allen and Benedict Arnold gave the colonists much needed artillery. So back then, they were given weapons to fight for peace. Now, this go around, people are being given frustration, voices, power, light to fight for peace, not with weapons, because you can't fight for peace with weapons, not in a spiritual sense. Well, in a spiritual sense, you don't fight for peace. You can, but you fight for peace with love, not weapons. So back then, the army rose up and then they had a commander. This time, Charlie Kirk's death is inspiring the army of light workers to rise up because it's the opposite of a thing. June 1775, the Battle of Bunker Hill actually fought on Breed's Hill. So it's called one thing, but actually it's called one hill, but actually fought on another. It's giving spiritual warfare manifesting in the physical. Though technically a British victory, it showed colonial forces could stand up to the British army. Though it technically looks like the dark is winning, just wait. King George III formally declared American colonies in a state of rebellion by late summer 1775. So by the end of that summer, in a state of rebellion, that whole thing where Charlie Kirk said, I'm not going to talk about the Epstein thing anymore, and then said, I'm going to, and then did it again, spoke on it again, was July, end of July. He spoke on it again, July 20. I just did this video this morning, July 24th, after saying a couple weeks or days before he wasn't going to speak on it anymore. That was the end of July. That would be the symbolic rebellion. Parliament passed laws to cut off colonial trade and increase military pressure. What is happening now? That kind of. So 250 years ago, the world was standing at a turning point. Does that sound familiar? That's what Charlie's business was, or company was. The American colonies had just gone from protest to outright war, which is what they wanted for us to do. They wanted us to fight violence with violence. And we said, no, that didn't work when you guys tried it. Why would we do that? And the ripples of that choice were about to change global history. They showed us for the last 250 years that you can't fight violence with violence and expect less violence. They tried to train us to jump into that reactivity, and we didn't bite. There hasn't been riots, to my knowledge. I don't think we gave them the reaction to this that they wanted to get from this. People are fighting with their voices, with their knowledge, with their intellect, instead of the weapons that they tried to convince us was the only way to fight, that they also showed us doesn't work to fight it, just causes more.